stupid people are the smartest people. I think they know what they're doing. When it comes to making content or creative endeavors, I think that a lot of us overthink it. I think a lot of us spend a lot of time thinking and dwelling and getting worried about, minute details and, how's it going to look, how's it going to be received. But stupid people just do it. And stupid might be the wrong word for these people. I don't think that that's the correct thing. I prefer to call them the people of action. And I think we all ought to try to be a little bit more like that. Because if we were, we'd probably get a lot more done. And that's part of what I'm trying to do right now, is I'm trying to be more action-oriented. Having a plan is important, and it's really good to have, super important to have. Like, never underestimate the power of having a plan. Sometimes I think that if having the plan puts you in a sort of paralysis, is the plan even worth it? It might actually be better for you just to fire from the hip and sort of figure it out as you go. Like, if you want it to be... I'm going to use content creation as my sort of example. If you want to make YouTube videos or be a Twitch streamer or a, Instagram Reels, shorts, TikTok sort of content, it is probably better for you to just say fuck it and full send and just make something off the cuff that's probably complete garbage, who knows, than it is for you to sit down and dwell about, oh, my first thing that I'm making, oh no, is it going to be good, is it going to be bad? If you find yourself focusing on the whole, is it going to be good, is it going to be bad, people aren't going to like this, I don't know what I'm doing. If you find yourself in that sort of, we'll call it the valley of dwelling, and you can sort of feel yourself moving into that paralysis state, it's probably best to just do it anyway. It's a little difficult to sort of describe, and it's difficult to do when you're in that place as well. But what you need to do is you need to basically just force yourself to move when your brain won't let you. I feel like what this sort of state is, at least what it feels like two halves of your brain fighting with each other. It feels like the left brain and the right brain are in an active dispute, and one of them doesn't know how to process or how to handle it, and the half that does needs you to sort of push it, right? The half that knows that it wants this, and it knows that it wants to do this, and it knows that it can do this, needs you to sort of like take manual control and force yourself into it, whereas the half that doesn't really know how to process it is trying to force you into sort of a lockdown, because it just keeps mulling it over and it can't figure it out. I think something we all need to do sort of as creatives is, and this is going to sound counterintuitive maybe to some people, but what you got to do is less think, more do. We got to do more and we got to think less. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to think less, do more. I've had, these YouTube channels for a while. This is going on, I don't know which one, but I've got a YouTube channel where we put out the short films that we make, and that, that's a slower process, but, that's every couple of months, it seems, usually. Something ends up over there. The other channel is mostly for turning out whatever the hell I want, but that channel goes, I think, dormant far more often because I don't know what to do, and so I'm trying to rectify that. So this is like some second channel type content, you know what I mean? Probably with like some Minecraft footage behind it. Something small, something simple. And that's the other thing when it comes to trying to make stuff. I think it's very easy for you to get sort of caught up in, like, you might have a vision for it. You might be basing it off of, like, what some of your, like, favorite creators are doing, and you might be basing it off of what some of your favorite creators are doing, and they have sort of a higher production value, And for you, that might be really daunting right now. That might not be something that you feel like you can achieve, or something that you want to achieve but you can't, and because you can't, you fall into that perfection question again, and so you just ultimately end up not doing it because you can't foresee it at that lower level of quality. But what you need to do, I think, in that case, and this is why I think less think, more do, is, and even counter to that statement, you're still going to have to do some thinking for it, because you're going to have to find a way to scale it down into something that I would describe as digestible for you, which in the case of, this video that some of you might be watching, I'm not confident that this video is going to blow up or anything, is, I think, fundamentally really just voiceover that I've recorded and then thrown on top of some, I don't know, Minecraft footage or whatever I've decided to put on the screen. I keep saying Minecraft. I'm thinking it's going to be Minecraft. But it could be anything. Who knows? Maybe I'll mix it up. Maybe we'll do more than the one. Maybe you'll get a couple of games in the background. I'll throw Subway Surfers in the bottom left for all of you to enjoy. But yeah, it is a matter of you have to simplify things so that you will do them. I think I saw a lot of stuff talking about writing lately. I think it was Sam Raimi. He was saying that, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't write a script or a screenplay or whatever, that's a big task. And he basically said something along the lines of just breaking it down into 3 sentences. Because everyone can write 3 sentences, right? A beginning, a middle, and an end. And then from there, you just flesh out the rest of your narrative. It's kind of like that thing about... It's kind of like that thing about drawing the owl, where it's like, start with a circle, then draw the rest of the owl. But no, I think there's a lot of value and wisdom in that. I think that people spend a lot of time looking at the end product or the overall project or it as a whole. When you need to think about it at the beginning, you need to look at it in its simplest form. You need to look at it in a way that is simple and easy to start. Because once you start, you'll keep going, right? That's the hard part. The age-old problem for us is tricking our brains into starting, which is why with these videos, I've sort of taken a new approach, and I'm recording the dialogue separately because it's easier for me. I've noticed this. It's an odd thing. It's easier for me to go and record the audio alone in isolation like this somewhere else in what I'll call the mobile recording studio, which is just a fancy way to say my car parked on the side of the road somewhere. It is easier for me to do this and for me to ramble into a microphone with nothing around me than it is for me to do what I was doing before, or for me to try and do some kind of video podcast solo operation, like a traditional YouTube video. That's weird for me. That's a little awkward. I found that this is actually quite easy and it gets me there faster, and I kind of enjoy it. It's difficult to start, as anything is, especially when I come out here with no plan or no topics or no idea what I'm going to talk about, and I sort of start recording and I kind of ramble. But I do find myself into a topic that I sort of stick to, and that's really all that matters. And that's another reason why I think I say less think, more do, and I need to sort of become more of a man of action, with less thought, because when I actually do take action, it kind of happens. Like the video is happening right now. It still needs to be put together, but it's here, and it exists currently, and by the time you see it, and for anyone listening to this, it does exist in full. And that's because I just said fuck it, and I've gone out and I've made it in a way that was almost impossible for me not to. You know what I mean? That's the real trick. Making the thing that you want to make so easy, there is no reason for you not to make it. You have to make it so easy that your brain can't possibly find a way for you not to do it. But I think that about sums up my thoughts on, getting started and making things easy and, less thinking, more doing. And I think that this type of video is what you're going to see more of in the future on this channel. It's going to be a lot of me rambling over some kind of gameplay footage. We're going back to 2016, minus the bullying, minus the racism, but we're going back. And we're going to do some videos like this. I don't know. I don't want to say that this is a commentary channel. It's not. It's really just me talking about my thoughts. But it's going to have that sort of weird 2016 coat of paint on it, where it's a guy doing voiceover with like CS:GO surfing in the background, except not CS:GO surfing, because I fucking suck at CS:GO surfing. But if you found any of what I had to say interesting today, consider subscribing and following along for more. I'm going to try to upload semi-consistently from this point forward. You believe that when you see the next one.